The United States is interested in Greenland due to its strategic geopolitical location. Greenland sits at the crossroads of missile defense, Arctic trade routes, North Atlantic control, and future resources. While the U.S. has considered purchasing Greenland in the past, the current focus is on strategic cooperation rather than ownership. Greenland's location makes it a critical asset in several key areas. Greenland is not an independent country, but an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. With a population of over 56,000 people, mostly Inuit, Greenland has its own government in the capital city of Nuuk that manages internal affairs like education, healthcare, and natural resources. Denmark, however, maintains control over Greenland's foreign policy, defense, and monetary system. This arrangement stems from historical agreements including the 1953 Greenland Home Rule Act and the 2009 Self-Government Act, which granted Greenland significant autonomy while keeping it under Danish sovereignty. Despite Greenland's unique status and the fact that it is not for sale, as clearly stated by both Danish and Greenlandic leaders, this political arrangement allows the United States to build strategic partnerships. The U.S. can engage with both Greenland's autonomous government and Denmark, focusing on mutual interests in defense, trade, and Arctic security. Greenland hosts the Pituffik Space Base, formerly known as Thule Air Base, a crucial U.S. military facility leased since 1953. This base is vital for missile early warning systems, providing critical radar coverage that detects ballistic missiles and other threats from the Arctic region before they can reach North America. In addition to missile defense, the base supports space surveillance, tracking satellites and space debris to protect U.S. assets in orbit. The base acts as a forward outpost, giving the U.S. advance notice of potential threats from Russia or China in the Arctic region, enhancing national security. The United States has invested heavily in upgrading the base, including modern radar systems and infrastructure improvements, to maintain its strategic advantage in the region. Greenland sits at the heart of the GIU Gap, the Greenland-Iceland-United Kingdom corridor, a critical North Atlantic choke point. This strategic passage controls access between the Arctic Ocean and the Atlantic, making it essential for monitoring submarine movements and naval operations. Historically, the Gap was vital for NATO naval strategy during the Cold War, helping to contain Soviet submarines. Today, it remains crucial for tracking Russian nuclear submarines and emerging Chinese naval presence in the region. The Gap's narrow waters force submarines through predictable routes, allowing for detection and response strategies. NATO maintains surveillance through patrols, sonar arrays, and satellite monitoring to prevent unauthorized access. As Arctic ice melts and new trade routes open, the GIUK Gap's importance grows. Greenland's position helps the United States maintain control over this vital waterway, ensuring security in the North Atlantic. Climate change is causing Arctic ice to melt at an unprecedented rate, opening up new shipping routes through the region. These routes, including the Northwest Passage and Northern Sea Route, could reduce travel times between Asia, Europe, and North America by as much as 40%, potentially shortening journeys from 20 days to just 12. Greenland's strategic location positions its ports like Nuuk and Sisimiut to become important hubs for Arctic shipping. The United States views Greenland as a crucial player in this emerging Arctic Silk Road and is investing in deep-water ports and other infrastructure to capitalize on these opportunities. Arctic shipping volume increased by 15% in 2025, with projections reaching $1.1 trillion in trade by 2035. However, without strong U.S. engagement, countries like Russia and China could gain control, potentially dominating up to 40% of Arctic routes. Greenland is believed to contain significant deposits of rare earth elements and critical minerals essential for electric vehicles, semiconductors, renewable energy, and defense systems. These minerals include elements like neodymium, dysprosium, lithium, and cobalt, which are crucial for modern technology and green energy solutions. Diversifying supply chains away from China is a priority for the U.S., and Greenland's mineral resources represent a long-term economic and technological security opportunity. Mining projects, however, remain politically sensitive due to environmental and indigenous rights concerns. The Arctic region is experiencing increased activity from both Russia and China, prompting NATO to elevate Arctic security as a top priority. Russia has significantly expanded its military presence in the Arctic, establishing 20 new bases since 2014 and growing its Arctic fleet by 30% in 2024. This militarization includes air bases, submarine facilities, and radar stations that enhance their strategic capabilities in the region. Meanwhile, China, as a near-Arctic state, has shown growing interest in polar infrastructure. In 2025, China invested $90 billion in Arctic projects and increased its fleet of Arctic research vessels by 50%. This includes initiatives like the Polar Silk Road, which aims to secure trade routes and resource access in the region. In response to these developments, NATO, including the United States, has elevated Arctic security as a strategic priority. This includes conducting joint military exercises, enhancing surveillance capabilities, and strengthening alliances with Arctic nations like Denmark and Greenland. To counter these potential threats and maintain strategic influence, the United States leverages existing defense agreements and cooperation frameworks with Greenland and Denmark. This includes the 1951 Defense of Greenland Agreement and recent enhancements like the 2023 Greenland-U.S. Defense Agreement, which allow for continued military presence and joint operations. The United States' interest in Greenland dates back to 1946, when President Truman proposed buying the territory from Denmark for $100 million. Although Denmark refused the offer, it led to a defense agreement in 1951 that granted the U.S. long-term access to Thule Air Base. In 2019, President Trump publicly renewed interest in purchasing Greenland, but this was met with rejection from Danish officials. Today, the focus has shifted from acquisition to strategic partnerships, with current talks emphasizing trade deals, resource exploration, and collaborative defense efforts amid rising Arctic competition.